It's crazy how challenging it can sometimes be to actually connect with another person to be able to get your message across or move a project across the finish line. And it got me thinking. Years ago, we had made an acquisition, and the company that we had acquired had a lot of engineers that worked for them. Highly technically minded, always focused on the technology, engineering, the solutions, the materials, on and on and on. And there were a number of people in our organization that kind of struggled to connect with them. And here I was walking in as the IT and HR guy trying to move an integration forward. There's one gentleman in particular that was off the charts brilliant, but it seemingly people struggled to connect with him. And so I thought, you know what? This person is vitally important to the success of our organization. We need to figure out how to connect with him, how to bring him into the fold so that we can leverage that talent and those skills. Fortunately, having a little bit of an IT nerd background, I was able to successfully connect with this engineer. And while I didn't know all the nuances, all the ins and outs of the solution that he had designed or the materials that he used to build this tool, I was still able to connect to him. And here's how. One day I walked into his office just to sit down and have a conversation with him. And as we're talking, I look up on the wall and there is a lightsaber mounted on the wall. Now look, full transparency, I haven't watched all the Star Wars movies, but I know what a lightsaber is. And I looked up and I interrupted him mid-sentence. I was like, oh my God, is that a lightsaber? And he paused for a second and yeah. I was like, does it work? And all of a sudden his eyes lit up and he's like, yeah, check it out. And so I grabbed it off the wall, flipped the switch to turn it on, and the light lit up and it had the noise the noise that comes along with a lightsaber, and started kind of moving it around. It's wrong, all the things that go along with a lightsaber. I was geeking out on it. And I said, hey, man, will you take a picture of me with this thing? I pulled out my cell phone, gave it to him, chatted it up. We had a great conversation. From that point forward, we connected on a deeper level than just business. He saw me as a fellow techie, as a fellow, I'm going to say nerd, but we connected on a deeper level. Now, look, this guy obviously knew a lot more about Star Wars than I did, but I knew just enough to be able to get excited about it and share genuine excitement. Then he started talking about the tools that he designs. Now, I happen to know enough about designs and tools and technologies and things and how they work that I could ask specific and targeted questions. Well, why did you use this material for the buttons? Does the angle of how the buttons are set in the slip, does that really affect its ability to hold the frac? Or talk me through this stuff. And so in that moment, he knew that I knew enough to be able to have somewhat of an educated conversation with him about the technology and about the tool, but that I genuinely wanted to learn more. And I chose him to be my teacher. From that point forward, while there were challenging and difficult conversations that we all had to navigate through during this integration, there was already trust and respect there, because I had taken the time to get to know him on a more personal level, to understand the things that he gets excited about, and to actually solicit feedback, check my ego, and say, I don't know about this, but tell me more about this. When you take the time to connect with people on their level and express genuine interest and excitement or concern about the things that they are doing, the things that they are building and trying to accomplish, man, you build up this pool of trust and respect that allows you and the other person to navigate through all these challenging situations from that point forward. And yes, you obviously have to continue like putting quarters in the trust and respect machine over time. But as you build up the trust bank account, there will be times when you have to have an uncomfortable conversation and it starts to die down. You got to come back and keep putting in to that relationship. And it all starts with checking your ego, getting outside of just the transaction, just the business. It's not always easy to do these things. The next time you meet somebody new, the next time you are struggling with connecting with somebody, spend 20 minutes, learn a little bit more about them, go have a conversation, and genuinely express interest and excitement at the things that they are doing. And just watch how the relationship starts to unfold and grow from that point forward.